Hi, Blastpop here. Today, I'm in the middle of a game of Victory Games Korean War by Joseph Belkowski. I'm on turn 3 of the first action impulse, and this is the first turn in this game where the hardwired first couple turn of rules have been removed. So now it's time to allocate your supplies and try to find weaknesses in your opponent's line by possibly attacking in those areas where the enemy has put less commitment. This is the first introductory scenario, but it's a sophisticated game that Balkowski has here. And what he's done is, even with the introductory scenarios, there's a lot of sophistication going on with respect to supply interactions, whether your units have restricted, limited acceleration, or offensive supply. And so consequently, there's a lot to consider. And actually, it's an ideal first scenario to play because it only sets you up for the campaign. But beyond that, it also teaches you the proper usage of your air power as well as your supply, transferring forces, and so many of the other important elements. Now, the campaign game will add those important additional rules to cover this, the strategic battle in terms of U.S. commitment, the Chinese possible invasion of Formosa, Russian intervention, Chinese intervention. But at this level, you're just focusing on what's going on one of the maps. So, thus far, the North Koreans have captured Seoul, have captured the town adjacent to it, which is, if I can pronounce it, Yeongdongpo, and have neglected thus far to go after Incheon, although I suspect that this division may race down there to capture that, because the game is based on how many victory points that the UN or US player possesses at game's end. And so right here we've got the North Koreans with a limited commitment. Didn't roll terribly well in their supply, so they're going to be basically attacking within 10 movement points at full strength and reduced after that. They don't have any offensive commitment or accelerated commitment, unfortunately for them. And that was in large measure due to the commitment of U.S. forces to interdiction, resulting in a level 5 interdiction. I also have 4 air units that will be committed to direct close support. The North Koreans thus far have been successful in getting reinforcements, and they've been sending them down the west coast, or actually the east coast, I believe it is, of the peninsula to reinforce the drive on Incheon, actually Pusan. There's a couple of U.S. divisions there from the Far Eastern Command. And at the start of this turn, I upgraded the U.S. division that came on the board to become the non-Far Eastern Command, but an upgraded division. I also managed to put them in improved positions. And for those wondering, the X's on the board are markers indicating hexes that are worth victory points at game's end, to make it abundantly clear as to which hexes are important in this game. So this will give you a sense of what's going on the board. In the west, They're advancing on Pusan, although they are somewhat out of supply. They're more of the advanced vanguard. And here we're holding our own south of Incheon and Seoul as the American and South Koreans. That position probably won't hold long, so they'll probably be scooting away just fast enough to try to slow up the North Koreans in their advance. So the battle will most likely come to some kind of defensive action in and around Pusan. So that's where we are so far in my game. I'm enjoying it very much. And as a classic, and I haven't played it in quite some time, but I'm happy to be back. Very much a positional playing game. Very important to be careful with your placement of your forces because ultimately you have not as many as you think. And the game can be bloody, and you need reasonable odds to attack. While on the units, you'll see the 12 here is the attack, 3 is the anti-armor, anti-tank, and 7 is the defense. So units typically have a higher attack value than their defense value. And they're in a weakened state once they've been committed and have done something on the game board. So this unit here, which had been committed, who also has an armor unit attached to it, is reduced in its values after having been committed. So again, very positional and when to attack and when to avoid exposing yourself in a situation where you could get your defensive line breached. So anyway, again, this has been Korean War by Victory Games, a classic. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.